Hello, this is DIY Reptiles, and today I'm going to be talking about using Drylock as a way of making custom backgrounds. So I use the Drylock original. I think it comes in white, and it is the basement like waterproofer. And I learned about it from watching like a dart frog video, and it's supposedly safe for fish, which is cool. I think I'll use it for fish in the future. But here I used it about a year ago in my green iguana Charlie's enclosure. Charlie is a female green iguana. She's relatively small, but in her last enclosure that lasted about a year as well, it was about 1/5 the size. It was still quite large, but this thing's massive. It had a silicone background, which is what I was familiar with before I became aware of using Drylock to cover the expanding foam background. So how my backgrounds work is I use expanding foam along with other naturally corrected materials such as driftwood and different rocks and stuff. And in the case of my leopard gecko's enclosure, I did the silicone method just like I did with the iguana, and it hasn't had any issues whatsoever. I personally think that the Drylock looks a lot better and it's easier to control when applying, but in this case it still turned out very nice and it worked very well. The problem with Charlie though is that by the end of the year of having her in a silicone based background is that she had ripped it apart. There was so many places that needed touched up, and certain places were just completely destroyed. She had completely uncovered the foam and everything. Now this was partly the problem of the silicone, but also, I mean, she went through the foam as well. In this case, it is the same exact foam, except the difference is it is covered with Drylock waterproofer instead of silicone 2, the brown silicone 2. So here we have it. There's just one coat over everything, and I put it on, like I said, a year ago. I used the Drylock, like I said. I had it colored gray, and then I also bought Quickcrete charcoal and terracotta coloring that I applied to it to then create these different layered gray colors, as well as this kind of brown color that's around. The terracotta is pretty red in my opinion, so I didn't use a whole lot of it, but I think it altogether made what I wanted it to look like, and it's been working surprisingly well. It's just been holding up very well. So here I'll get in and I'll show you what exactly that means. So there are some spots, as you can see, that the expanding foam has been uncovered, and this is from Charlie crawling on it, but it's not insanely noticeable, and it's not like she's torn apart any of the areas, and she does climb on it a whole lot. I mean, she utilizes the branches quite a lot, but she does quite a bit of the climbing on it as well, and it's held up very well in my opinion. There are some spots that are open. One of the biggest areas is this, and this isn't so much the issue of the Drylock, but it's more my fault and the expanding foam's fault. It's this piece right here. It used to be up higher, but over time, she kind of bent it down. So all I need to do is cover up, like touch up all these areas with the Drylock, and it'll be completely fine. Now with any other smaller animal, I would not worry about it whatsoever, but Charlie is a large iguana, and I do think this works very well with things like iguanas and other large animals, so I would 100% recommend this, and even to the extent that I don't think I'll be doing the silicone 2 backgrounds in the future. This is pretty much what I'll be utilizing now, and I can attest to that because I recently made 3 very large crested gecko terrariums with also Drylock, and I'll talk about those. I kind of did those in a different special way, so I'm pretty proud of that. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like it down below. If you have any comments or concerns, put in the comments below, and if you want more content, then subscribe. Have a fantastic day.